Not in friendships, not in love, not in group chats, not in plans. You were the backup. The if they can't make it option, the we'll call you later person. No one ever said it directly, but your nervous system noticed the delayed replies, the slight shift in tone, the way someone's energy changed the moment another person. Psychology doesn't call this weakness, it calls it adaptation, because when you are repeatedly chosen second, your brain doesn't stay neutral, it rewires itself for survival. And what that does to the mind goes much deeper than most people realize. This isn't about personality. This is about what your brain had to become to survive feeling replaceable. When someone grows up feeling optional, their brain becomes incredibly sensitive to subtle shifts. Psychology calls this rejection sensitivity. Repeated emotional dismissal trains the amygdala to stay alert, always scanning. You start noticing things other people miss, a pause before someone responds, a slight drop in enthusiasm, a change in texting patterns. You sense emotional distance before others consciously admit it. People call this overthinking. It isn't. It's pattern recognition built from experience. When rejection happens quietly, your brain learns to detect it early, so you don't panic. You scan. But what most people don't see is how exhausting that constant scanning really is. When emotional support is inconsistent, the developing brain adapts. If comfort isn't reliable, the mind stops expecting it. Over time, self-reliance becomes automatic. You don't ask for help, not because you're strong, but because somewhere inside, you learned help doesn't stay. You handle disappointment privately. You solve problems alone. You celebrate quietly. You become low maintenance, and the world praises that. But psychology understands something deeper. Independence developed from neglect isn't freedom, it's armor, and armor is heavy. Attachment psychology explains this clearly. When someone grows up feeling replaceable, they try to become irreplaceable. You give more effort, more understanding, more patience. You forgive faster. You adjust easier. You shrink your needs. Because somewhere inside there's a belief, if I give enough, they won't leave. This isn't weakness. It's survival logic. Your brain learned that being too much leads to abandonment. So you become less demanding, less expressive, less visible. And people benefit from your flexibility without ever realizing what it costs you. Repeated emotional neglect builds a quiet belief. I can be replaced at any time. You may never say it out loud, but it shapes your behavior. You downplay discomfort, avoid conflict, accept half-effort relationships. Not because you don't know your worth, but because your nervous system equates stability with staying agreeable. You don't actually fear loneliness, you fear replacement. Loneliness feels empty, replacement feels like being erased, and that cuts deeper. Research on resilience shows something powerful. People exposed to chronic social exclusion often develop strong emotional endurance. You don't collapse when plans change, you don't beg when someone withdraws, you don't chase when someone leaves. Because you've seen it before. Disappointment doesn't shock you, it confirms your expectations, and that creates a strange kind of strength. You can absorb emotional impact without dramatic reaction. But here's what others don't see. Strength built from repeated loss often feels like numbness. You endure, but you rarely feel safe. When affection feels unstable, the brain stops prioritizing excitement. It starts prioritizing consistency. You don't chase butterflies, you chase reliability. Effort over words, patterns over promises, consistency over chemistry. Being chosen once doesn't impress you. Being chosen repeatedly does. Because intensity is easy. Consistency is rare, and your brain learned that affection without stability is dangerous. There's something else psychology observes. When someone isn't used to being prioritized, genuine affection can feel unfamiliar. You may question it, doubt it, wait for it to disappear. Not because you're suspicious, but because your internal model of relationships expects inconsistency. Your nervous system is calibrated for unpredictability, so when stability shows up, it feels foreign. And sometimes you sabotage what feels calm because chaos feels familiar. People who were never first learned to regulate internally, you process alone, reflect alone, heal alone. You rarely make scenes, rarely demand attention. You don't want to be too much. You learn that attention is conditional, so you become self-contained, independent, impressive, but slightly distant. Not because you don't care, because closeness once felt temporary. Here's the paradox. Externally, you expect little. Internally, you crave depth. You may act unbothered, but you long for loyalty. You may say, "It's fine," but you remember everything. Your standards aren't loud, they're quiet, because you stopped expecting others to meet them. And that quiet expectation is one of the most misunderstood traits of people who are never first. This is important. None of this means you're damaged. Your brain adapted logically. Neural pathways strengthen through repetition. If being second was consistent, your brain prepared you for it. Hyper-awareness, self-reliance, emotional endurance. These are survival adaptations, not flaws. The problem isn't your wiring, it's that you stayed in environments that kept reinforcing it. Healing doesn't mean becoming dependent, it means recalibrating safety. It means allowing yourself to be prioritized without suspicion. It means understanding that consistency should be standard, not exceptional. You are never too much. You are simply never fully chosen. And once you see the pattern, you stop blaming yourself for adapting to it. If this felt uncomfortably accurate, it's not coincidence. Patterns repeat until they are understood. This channel explores human behavior the way psychology actually sees it. Not romanticized, not dramatized, just understood. Because once you see the pattern, you stop shrinking to survive it, and you start choosing what once felt impossible.